So Lufthansa Group has just announced that they are going to lay off about 4,000 jobs by 2030 due to the digitalization, so to say, in short, AI, of what we're seeing right now. And I just recorded another video of a friend of mine who works at LinkedIn, and he just said as well that he works for LinkedIn in Austria, and there were a ton of layoffs just now the last 2 weeks. And it was also internally, they were talking about it. It was due to AI and how essentially it's shaping the way of how companies work. And it's obviously companies have to adapt. They have to start working in a different way. And so what can you do? Because I'm getting this question a lot, right? That I've gotten on comments. What can you really do about it? So the first thing I would do is I would try to reframe how I think about what is going on in the world. Instead of constantly saying kind of, oh, AI is going to take my jobs, AI is actually replacing my job and so on. I think when you look at it from a broader picture, AI is just reshaping how jobs are being done. So most layoffs we've actually seen are not really about total elimination of those tasks, right, that the people were doing. It's just essentially about redistribution of said tasks. So instead of will AI take my job, just ask yourself, how can I be the one using AI to do my job better, faster, and smarter than anyone else? So if I were scared of layoffs, I would essentially be proactive about it. And I would start doing things right now, like update my LinkedIn biography, update your resume now already, add something like AI literacy, add maybe some sort of like apps or softwares or whatever you are familiar with and you're really good at using. The next thing, and we entrepreneurs, we notice, you want to keep asking for testimonials. You want to keep asking for reviews for you, your persona, your skills, everything that you're good at doing. Keep asking for those, add them to your LinkedIn bio, add them wherever you can online, showcase them, like sell yourself now already. Don't just wait for, when SHIT hits the fan, but do it now. Next, you can actually audit your role of what you're doing right now in your company and sort of analyze it in terms of how AI vulnerable it is. Which tasks are especially repetitive, rule-based, and data-heavy that you're doing? These ones are probably the ones that are especially vulnerable to be in the future done by AI. Then mark which ones are relational, which ones are creative, which ones need a lot of human input. Or also strategic, like I would double down on those. Like this is like your gold. This is where you need to double down. To give you an example, let's say you're in marketing. Lean into storytelling, brand strategy, brand voice, and not just ad setup. If you're in customer service, focus on how to handle complex cases, empathy and escalation handling. My next tip is to upskill in the direction that the market is moving. So you don't have to become a coder, but you do have to know how to use the tools in the future. Start with the most straightforward. Know how to use ChatGPT and how to essentially do prompt engineering. You can take a short AI course on Coursera or one of those free courses from one of the major universities like around the world. There's quite a few of them. If you're creative, focus on sort of like the creative apps, like know how to use, Canva, Notion AI, Magic Tools, and so on. If you're analytical, then play with ChatGPT's data analysis or spreadsheet automation capabilities. Next, build your plan B income streams. And I think this is so important because most of the time, a few people that struggle with this are the kind of people that weren't proactive about it. They kind of saw the warning signs, they saw the red flags, but they just idly sat by and then they waited for the catastrophe, so to speak, to happen, right? But I feel like nowadays with the internet, you can be proactive about it. And I think, throughout history, you always ran into that possibility that you could lose your job, right? You could become injured. So many things could happen. So I think to have a plan B and also build up a plan B income stream is absolutely vital and even more important if you're a parent. So a few easy ways to do this is you can consult part-time and charge for that. You can offer your skills, some of your skills on freelance sites like Upwork, Fiverr, and so on. You could turn your unique expertise into a Substack paid newsletter, etc. There are so many options online. No one previous, like all the generations before, has never had literally so many opportunities. And then the next one is also a big one. And I think that's something that we entrepreneurs, we always know as well. And I think it's really a tip that you can take with you as well in the regular job market or job world, is that you can constantly expand your essentially professional safety net. So you want to be reconnecting or newly connecting with people in your industry, outside of your industry, and essentially never like pause doing that. Keep making new connections, keep strengthening those connections and so on, because you never know what a connection might give you or bring you. There's the saying, and I don't know who told us the saying, because of course there's so much stranger danger out there as well. But like one of the things I also want to teach my kids is not just stranger danger or situational awareness. I know I'm going over into teaching my kids, but like I think it's important. It's like that one stranger could give you anything that you ever dreamt of. And one of the things that I think we're losing is also being able to talk to strangers. That's offline and maybe online. So that's a thing I would double down for as well. The next thing is create a financial buffer. I just read the book, The Art of Spending, and I can only recommend it to you. It's so interesting. And I feel like one of the things that we need to be aware of is that every money that you're spending, or every money, I should say, that you're keeping and not spending, is essentially another piece that you're adding to your personal freedom, because the more money you have saved up, the better or the more freedom you have to make certain choices, even if it's like $1,000 saved up, right? If you are losing your job, you have the peace of mind to be able to maybe pay for food for another month that you otherwise wouldn't have had, right? So even tiny things just really add to that personal financial freedom. And I think the last thing is, not to go too crazy about it. We live in this world where, our algorithm, and most likely if you're seeing this as well, we live in this analytical algorithm spider web. So your algorithm looks so much different than maybe your neighbor's algorithm or your partner's algorithm or your kids, hopefully not yet, but when they're an adult kid, your algorithm, their algorithm, and so on. So I think it's just really important to understand how much we are looking through a certain type of glasses that only we have on, and the algorithms created that. So at the end of the day, there were always things in history that all of us have overcome and that we as humans continue to overcome. So this is not the end. And I just think it's, for your peace of mind, good to educate yourself, be proactive about it, but then let it go at the end of the day, because life is there to be lived, and not to make yourself crazy about things that you don't even know exactly how they are going to happen. So I hope this video was helpful for you. If it was, follow along.